I understand you come this time to speak before the international conference here in Houston.
И надеюсь видеть почаще.
And I hope we'll see each other more frequently.
Москву не говорят ли,
And you come to Moscow at the right time.
восстал. Полиция разгулялся, людей все выставляют.
I understand that back home the police are getting out of the way, putting people in prison.
I'm very encouraged by this new agreement on nuclear weapons.
Я очень интенсивно чувствую про соглашение оружия.
And I think President Medvedev had a good trip in the U.S., which was very good. We liked it when he went to Silicon Valley. It was very nice.
As Vladimir Putin took office in 2000, the world was still glowing
to demonstrate the seriousness of NATO's purpose so that the Serbian leaders understand the imperative of reversing course, to deter an even bloodier offensive against innocent civilians in Kosovo, and if necessary, to seriously damage the Serbian military's capacity to harm the people of Kosovo. In short, if President Milosevic will not make peace, we will limit his ability to make war.
Russia? I'm not going to answer to that.
Я вам задам такой же вопрос.
I could ask the very same question.
I'll answer the question. I looked the man in the eye. I found it to be very straightforward and trustworthy. We had a very good dialogue. I was able to get a sense of his soul. He's a man deeply committed to his country and the best interests of his country. And I appreciated so very much the frank dialogue. There was no kind of diplomatic chit-chat trying to throw each other off balance. There was a straightforward dialogue, and that's the beginning of a very constructive relationship. I wouldn't have invited him to my ranch if I didn't trust him. These will be fruitful discussions, and I believe what people will see is a strategy, a joint strategy. The President's a history major, and so am I. And we remember the old history. It's time to write new history in a positive and constructive way.
said that this US strike reminds me strongly of events in Iraq in 2003 when US representatives at the UN Security Council showed alleged chemical weapons found in Iraq. A military campaign was then launched in Iraq and it resulted in the destruction of the country, the growth of the terrorist threat and the emergence of the Islamic State.
Important meeting and our time here together. I wanted to present you with a little gift which represents what President Obama and Vice President Biden and I have been saying, and that is we want to reset our relationship. And
let's do it together.
So we will do it together, okay?
This gesture was intended to signal a fresh start and the potential for a new chapter in the U.S.-Russia relations.
Indeed, I firmly believe that America's most significant national security interests and priorities could be advanced most effectively through cooperation, not an adversarial relationship with Russia. That's why I committed to resetting the relationship between our two nations, to deepen Russia's integration into the global economy. Importance of ratifying the START Treaty. And let me be clear, it is in the national security imperative, it is a national security imperative that the United States ratify the new START Treaty this year. There is no higher national security priority for the lame duck session of Congress. The stakes for American national security are clear, and they are high. The new START Treaty responsibly reduces the number of nuclear weapons and launchers that the United States and Russia deploy while fully maintaining America's nuclear deterrent. If we ratify this treaty, we're going to have a verification regime in place to track Russia's strategic nuclear weapons, including U.S. inspectors on the ground.
Oh, they're going to sanction me. They've sanctioned me for the last 25 years. You mean I can take over a whole country and they're going to sanction me? You mean they're not going to blow us to pieces, at least psychologically? The problem is not that Putin is smart, which of course he's smart, but the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Was asked the question. My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be. I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And what he did is an incredible offer. He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible.
Has the gall to say he's denazifying Ukraine. It's a lie. It's just cynical. He knows that. And it's also obscene. President Zelensky was democratically elected. He's Jewish. His father's family was wiped out in the Nazi Holocaust. And Putin has the audacity, like all our autocrats before him, to believe that might will make right. There is simply no justification or provocation for Russia's choice of war. It's an example of one of the oldest human impulses, using brute force and disinformation to satisfy a craving for absolute power and control.
Diplomacy.